Hello my wonderful viewers, welcome to my channel. In today's class we shall be looking at quadratic equation. We have different methods of solving quadratic equation. The first one is factorization, second one is completing the square, the third one is formula, and the fourth one is the use of graphical method. Now today we shall be looking at factorization. So we are going to use factorization method to solve these examples. The first example says we should solve x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. Before we start solving, we have to know that the general quadratic function, the general form of quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So, and that is what we are going to use to solve this quadratic equation, where a in this equation simply means the coefficient of x squared. So where a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is constant. Is the constant. Now these are the necessary things we need to know in our general quadratic form. Now the first thing to do is to find the factor of 6. So we are going to find the factor of the constant term here, which is what? 6. So let's find the factor of 6. The factors of 6 are factors of plus 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now I'm going to pick two factors here. Two factors that when I multiply them together is going to give me 6. So let's do that. Factors of 6. Factors of 6. So let's look at them. If I pick plus 1 and plus 6, if I multiply the two, it's going to give me 6. Let me see if I can have another one. Plus 2 and plus 3. If I multiply the two together, it's going to give me plus 6. So factors of plus 6. Can I have another one? Okay. Even if I have minus 3 and minus 3, it's going to give me plus 6. Now I need just one of these. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So I need just one. So how do I know the one I need? We all know that these combinations, if I multiply them, it's going to give me plus 6. But that doesn't matter. The one I need is the one that when I add it together is going to give me the b. And what's my b? My b is 5. So the one I need is when I add the two values together, it's going to give me b. Now let's see the one I can add together. If I add this, it's going to give me plus 7. If I add this, it's going to give me plus 5. If I add this, it's going to give me minus 6. So the one that is going to be useful to me is this plus 2 and what? Plus 3. So that is the factors of plus 6 that we are going to make use of. So our factors of 6 that we need is plus 2 and plus. So factors of plus 6 is equals to plus 2 and plus 3. Now I'm going to change this to plus 2x plus 3x. So I will just introduce x to give me this. So it will now be plus 2s and what? And plus 3s. So that will be plus 2s plus 3s. So it is this plus 2s plus 3s that I'm going to use to replace plus 5x. So I will now have x squared plus 2x plus 3x, don't forget I'm using this to replace this, plus 6 equals to 0. So plus 2x plus 3x are what we are using to replace plus 5x. Alright, the next thing is to factorize. So I'm going to have this, put this in brackets, and you have this, you also put this into brackets. Now, the next thing, let's try to factorize. What is common here? X is common. X multiplied by what will give us x squared, that is x multiplied by x, plus x multiplied by what will give me 2x, that is x multiplied by 2, and plus. Now, what is common here? 3 is common. 3 can go here, it can go here. So I'm going to bring my 3 out. Then 3 multiplied by x will give me 3x. 3 multiplied by 2 will give me 6 equals to 0. Now, in quadratic equation, you have to take note of this. You are going to pick the first one in the brackets, which is x plus 2. You bring it down. And the next one, you ignore the second bracket. You are going to ignore it. So what are you going to put in your bracket now? You now pick this and this. So that will be x plus 3 equals to 0. So we have successfully factorized this. But don't forget, we want to solve. We want to solve for x. We want to find the value of x. So you are now going to have x plus 2 equals to 0. Or x plus 3 equals to 0. Now that's, you can now remove the brackets. You can decide to remove the brackets. So in that case, 2 can move here, it becomes minus 2. Or when 3 moves to the other side, it becomes s equals to minus 3. So our final answer is s equals to minus 2 or s equals to minus 3. So that is how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method. We have 2 more examples here. We only did the number 1. So I want you to try the second and the third question here. So you can solve it and drop the answer in the comments section. So this is going to be the part 1 of quadratic equation using factorization method. Because there is still, you may come across some question whereby you will not be able to factorize the c, the constant terms. So how do you go about it? So we are going to look at that in our next video. So and also in the next videos we will also talk about how to use completing the square method, formula method, graphical method to solve quadratic equation. Thanks for watching, guys.